All right. So, hello. We're going to start today in a seated position on our mats. Just however is comfortable for you. You can be cross-legged. You can be on the ankles. You can be seated up on something, on a pillow or a bolster or block, just for a little extra height for your hips. You can take your time arriving, just shifting yourself until you get to a comfortable place. And then whenever you arrive, you can just allow the eyes to gently close. And take a nice cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Allowing the breath to return naturally. Letting the inhales and exhales fall however they come. Noticing where your breath is traveling to. Maybe mostly to the belly, or maybe mostly toward the chest. And consciously draw the air deeper into the belly. On your inhales, feeling the low, then middle, then upper belly fill up. And as you exhale, letting the upper, middle, and lower belly fall. If it's helpful to you, you can even place your hands on the belly, just to encourage breathing into the palms of the hands, really filling up the belly. As you do this, relaxing the face, the forehead, the jaw, the shoulders. And taking one more full breath into the belly, into the hands. And as you exhale, release, you can let the arms come back down by your side. And bring the palms to face up. As you inhale, feel yourself lift up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, feel yourself settle through the sit bones. And start to slowly add in some neck rolls. You can start circling your head in one direction. And just going a few times one direction. And then as you're ready, switching directions, going a few times the other way. Just making sure you're even. And keeping this movement linked with your breath. Not super important what movement comes on the inhales versus exhales. Just letting it be linked with one of them. And switching directions if you haven't already. You can notice any creaks, any kinks happening. Whenever you feel even, you can just allow your chin to rest down toward the chest. Letting the head be heavy, feeling this nice stretch down the back of the neck. And keeping the spine nice and straight until it gets to the back of the neck. Just feeling it concentrated to the upper back. And you can interlace your hands and bring them behind the head. And just allow the elbows to be heavy, dangle down by your sides. So adding a little bit of weight, not pulling. And then on your next inhale, you can push the back of your head into the hands. Open up your elbows to the sides. Breathe into the heart. And exhale, curl back down. Letting the chin fall, letting the elbows fall. Maybe curling through the rest of the spine too. Tucking the tailbone in, or down rather. Just feeling how that feels. And then on your next inhale, you can rise back up, pushing the head into the hands, opening up the elbows. And exhaling back down. You can do this another round on your own with your own breath. And after your last inhale, you can exhale and just release the hands down by the sides and be stretching out wide for a second. Awesome. And now let's inhale, look over your right shoulder. You can bring the chin over the shoulder and try to keep everything else about your body exactly the same. Good. Just feel this nice stretch down the front side of the neck. And inhale back to center. And exhale, look over the other shoulder. So you can move a few times like this with your breath. Inhaling to center, exhaling to look over the shoulder, and switching sides. And then coming back to center, and you're good. Inhaling, reach both arms up, and nice and long in the sides of your body. Palms can face toward each other. And then exhale, drop your right arm down and take a side body stretch to the right side of your mat. Feeling this nice long space from your left hip bone or sit bone through the side body, through the fingertips. And you can experiment with looking up toward the ceiling, maybe trying to shine the heart closer toward the ceiling, and coming down, looking toward the ground, curling the heart closer to the ground. So you can move that with your breath, maybe inhaling to open the hearts, exhaling to curl the hearts. That feels good. And then you can bring your gaze back directly in front of you and just let your head relax so that your right ear comes closer to the right shoulder. It's kind of releasing your neck entirely. And then reach your left fingertips away from you, so about shoulder level. So you can feel a really nice stretch from your left fingertips through the left ear. Awesome. And then just let the weight of your arm pull you back up to center. And push your head back up. That's good. Awesome. Now we'll do that on the other side when you're ready. Inhale, both arms reaching up. And exhale, left arm down, bending over to the left, feeling that nice stretch in the right side body. Doing what you did on the other side. So on your inhales, maybe looking up toward the ceiling, feeling that heart open. And on your exhales, curling down toward the ground. Move really slowly and move with your breath, move with intention. So really paying attention to each part of your body that is moving as it moves. Awesome. When you're ready, we can come back to center. Just bring your gaze right in front of you and allow the head to completely relax. And then reach your right fingertips away from you, level with the shoulder. So up, look perfect. And just feel that space from the fingertips through the ear. Feel this down the arm. Breathe into it. Big exhales. And then you can allow your arm to bring you back up to center, maybe pushing your back up. And we can shake out the hands, shake out the shoulders, just let it all go. Then we're going to do 3 lion's breath to kind of get into the face more. So you can take a big inhale through the nose and maybe scrunch up the face when you do that too, because our exhales, you're going to stick your tongue out and down and then look up toward the ceiling. So you're really feeling the face stretch out from your tongue through the eyes. So it looks like this. You can do it 2 more times. Cool. That can feel nice. And then returning to your Ujjayi breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, building that heat. And then we'll come into our tabletops as you're ready. You can notice how that breathing exercise felt as you start to slowly make your way into a tabletop. Just landing with the shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And when you look back, just see that the toes are hidden behind the thighs. Great job. You can spread the fingers super wide and bring it so that your wrist creases are parallel to the front edge of the mat. Bring down in the base of your pinky, the base of your pointer, and your thumb, as well as the heel of the hands and the tips of the fingers. So the hands are very active into the mat. The tops of the feet and the shins pushing down as well, feeling how that fires up the core. Then as you inhale, you'll drop the belly down, lift the gaze and the tailbone to your cow pose. Then you'll exhale, pull the navel to the spine, tuck the chin and tailbone to your cat pose. So you can move through your cat-cows a few times with your breath. I don't think I said this at the beginning of class, but I'm not going to be participating in the whole thing because I'm still recovering from surgery, so I'll do what I can. It's really feeling the collarbones broaden when you come into your cow pose. Feel the heart pulling forward. And then as you come into your cat pose, feel the shoulder blades broaden. So feeling the heart kind of push through the space between the shoulder blades. Awesome. So you can take another round of each. And then bending your way back to center with a neutral spine. And when you're ready, and we'll just wag the tail a few times. So you can look over the right shoulder back toward the right hip as you bring the right hip closer to the shoulder. Great. And then coming to center, exhaling to the other side. Just getting into the side bodies a little bit more dynamically, moving with your breath here, as always. And try your best to keep the navel pulled in toward the spine. So you're not in a cow pose doing this, you're keeping the spine really straight. And you can do this in a cow pose, but that's just not what we're doing right now. And then if you want to have some free movements here, feel free to do so. So maybe you kind of find a combination of the cat-cows and the wagging tail going in circular motions. Maybe you start to rotate the spine by looking over opposite shoulders toward the ceiling. Just whatever is calling to your body right now. Let it be a freestyle. Closing the eyes, allowing yourself to move however the body wants to move. Not questioning it at all, just letting yourself flow with the breath, feeling the spine waking up. Maybe making a note of how your body's feeling today, how you felt so far today, and how you're feeling right now in this moment. So when you're starting to feel nice and loose, no rush at all if you want to keep moving, you can find your way back to your neutral tabletop. And we'll come into a thread the needle. So on your inhale, you can raise your right arm out to the side and up, opening the heart to the right. And as you exhale, thread the needle, bringing right arm underneath your left and the right shoulder and right ear to the ground. Awesome. So you have some options with your left arm. You can push into the ground with that hand. You can, or curling the arm to the ceiling, and you could reach the fingertips forward to the top of your mat, getting that extra length down the left side of the body, or you could also bring it behind your back. Just breathing into wherever you're feeling this the most. Maybe this feels really good, or maybe this feels kind of difficult. Wherever you are is perfect. Take 3 more breaths. And then beginning to bring your left hand back to the ground in front of your face if it's left. And with control and strength, you can push into your left hand, slowly unwinding the right arm, reaching it all the way back up to the ceiling. And then exhaling into your tabletop. Wonderful. So you can Really just take a moment to feel the difference in the sides of your body. And then when you're ready, we will do that on the other side. So you can inhale, reach your left arm out to the side and up, heart opening to the left, reaching up and out of your right shoulder. And then exhale, thread the needle, bringing the left ear, left shoulder to the ground. Awesome. Same options with the top arm on this side. And generally sticking with what you did on the other side. You always want to do the same thing to both sides, just to stay balanced. You can notice if it feels quite different on this side compared to the last. If you're feeling any tension or pulling sensations, just be curious about that. Notice if there's any sense of pain. And if there is any sense of pain, then back off. You can unwind or always come out of this or any pose you feel pain. But if there's just some discomfort or tightening or resisting, bringing all your awareness to that area and exhaling into that, letting it go. About 2 more breaths here. And then when you are ready, you can slowly start to bring your hand back to the ground. Using your strength and control, you can push into that hand, bringing your arm all the way back out to the side and up. And exhale to release into tabletop. Take a breath here. Notice the body. And then as you exhale, sit the hips down on the heels into your child's pose. Stretching the fingertips far in front of you. Feeling the full length of your body. Feeling the belly breathing into the thighs. Relax the face, forehead and jaw. With your next inhale, you can activate your child's pose, pushing into the ground with the palms, letting the arms lift. And then feel as if you're dragging the floor toward your knees as you pull yourself back up into your tabletop. Tuck your toes under, lift your sit bones back and up to your downward facing dog. Awesome. So you can take a few moments here just to adjust into your alignment. Just seeing that the hands are about shoulder width distance. It can be helpful to actually put your hand on your shoulder and just follow that line down to the wrist. And same hands as in tabletop, so active hands, wrist creases parallel, front edge of the mat. And the feet are about hips width distance. So you can just check in with yourself there. You can pedal out the feet, maybe taking turns bending each leg, or find stillness. Always option to keep the knees generously bent. Just let the goal of this pose be to lengthen your spine, so lifting your sit bones as high as you possibly can. Wrapping the shoulders underneath so that you feel that broadness across the shoulder blades. The shoulders are in a neutral position. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Letting it go. On your next inhale, roll your body forward into a plank position. Always option to have the knees down here for a modified plank. Just feeling the strength of your core for a moment. And then you can slowly bend the elbows alongside the ribs and lower yourself down to lay on your belly. Once you arrive, you can set your fingertips about eye level to you if you were looking at the floor, and on just off the edges of your mat. So your fingertips are on the ground in like this tented form. And then bring your elbows to point up toward the ceiling. Nice. So as you inhale, just like in baby cobra, you'll lift the heart up, root down the tops of the feet and big toes. And exhale, release the head down. So do that 3 more times. Inhaling, lifting the heart. Exhaling down. Inhaling to lift. Feeling the shoulders as you move. Feeling the collarbones broaden as you inhale. And feeling the collarbones relax to the ground as you exhale. And then next inhale, come back up. And then this time you'll exhale and dip your right shoulder down and look over your left. And come back to center. Then exhale, dip the left shoulder down, look over the right. So you can do that a few times, going back and forth. You can make this movement be really exaggerated and more dancey, if that feels good. Or this can be really subtle movement. Whatever your body's asking for right now is what you should be doing. So when you're ready, we'll come back to center when you feel even. You can make a pillow with your hands. Rest your forehead down. Bend the knees up toward the bum and windshield wiper the feet back and forth. Massaging the belly, releasing the lower back. And then finding your way back to center. You can bring the hands underneath the shoulders this time, and using the strength in your arms, keeping the elbows close to the ribs, you can push yourself back up through a tabletop and tuck your toes and lift your hips to your downward facing dog. Letting out big exhales once you arrive. And then slowly start to make your way to the top of your mat. You can take one step at a time, no rush whatsoever. Arriving into your forward fold, bending the knees generously, letting this be a stretch for your spine. Letting the forehead and the head and neck dangle. You can allow your head to shake yes and no. Letting out really big exhales. Lifting the sit bones a little bit higher, even though the knees are bent. Just feeling that length growing down the backs of the legs. And shifting your weight slightly more toward the balls of the feet. Awesome. And then really slowly on your inhale, you begin to raise yourself up to stand. One vertebrae at a time. Head and shoulders last to come up. Palms facing out at the top into your mountain pose. Awesome. On your inhales, feel yourself lift up through the crown of the head. And on your exhales, feel yourself ground down through the soles of the feet. Inhale, sweep both arms out and up. And exhale, dive forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, heart reaches forward. Nice. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way out and up. And exhale, hands to heart center. And do that again. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, swan dive all the way down. Inhale, long spine, half lift. Heart comes forward, nice. And exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Great. So we'll move through a full sun salutation this time. You can inhale, reach both arms up. And exhale, swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, tabletop spine. And exhale, release. Plant your hands down. You can step back to a plank or to a tabletop, whatever's in your practice. And you can take your full Sunset A. You can lower halfway, Chaturanga Dandasana, into your up dog. You can lower all the way down to the ground and take your baby cobra. Or you can stay in tabletop, do a cat-cow, whatever you got to do for your flow today. Just making your way into a downward facing dog whenever you're ready. Bend the knees, look up toward the top of your mat, and step up to your halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. And do one more full sun sal, just like that. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long spine, half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back, move through your vinyasa, and we'll meet in a down dog. Bend the knees, look up, and step up. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. And take a moment here. Check back in. Feel the heartbeat. Relax the forehead, relax the jaw. Feel the breath. And remind yourself why you showed up today. And if you have no other goal, letting your goal of this practice be to stay completely present with yourself. On your next inhale, raise both arms up. And exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. This time, we'll inhale and sit the hips down as you reach the arms up into your chair pose. Feel the inner thighs drawing in closer toward each other. Feel the tailbone really tucking down so you get length in the lower back. And when you look down, you need to be able to see your toes. So it doesn't have to be bent even that much. It's a perfect chair, Mom. You can, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can try to bring the biceps up alongside the ears, but making sure to relax the neck and the face. One more breath here. You're very strong. And then exhale, forward fold. Great. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and release. And plant the hands down, step back to your plank or table, move through a flow, and we'll meet in a down dog. Wonderful. On your next inhale, you can raise your right leg back and up, keeping the hips square. So energy reaching through the heel or the ball of the foot, whatever feels best for you. And then you can bend your knee in toward the chest using your core and step your foot to the top of your mat in between the hands. Rise yourself up to warrior one. So the front toes should be facing the front left corner of the mat, that 45-degree angle. And your hips are square to the front as well. So if there's headlights on your hips, going right in front of you. So you're feeling the inner thighs draw in toward each other At the same time that you feel the feet dragging away from each other. The four corners of both feet should all be sturdy on the ground. You can always adjust your stance, shortening it or widening it. Just find wherever you got to be to have your hips square with the rest of your torso. And your hands can stay on your hips if you really want to encourage this, or you can reach them up, or any other expression, maybe hands heart center. That feels right. And you'll keep your front knee over the front ankle. You can always lift the toes if you really want to make sure that you're steady on your feet. And then just use the toes as extra support. Great. Feel your tailbone really tuck straight down so you feel more length in the low back and a deeper stretch in the left hip flexor. Great. One more inhale here. And then exhale, bring your hands down, framing your front foot. Step back to a plank, move through your vinyasa, and we'll meet in a down dog. Let out big exhales, maybe sigh it out, maybe flutter the lips. Whatever wants to come out. And then we'll even out. So on your next inhale, you can raise your left leg back and up, keeping the hips square. Again, reaching through the heel or the ball of the foot. Feeling this like an extension from your core. Great. And then bending your knee in toward the chest and then shifting shoulders over wrists. Place the foot at the top of your mat. Great. You can rise up to your warrior one as you're ready. So the back toes now face the front right corner of the mat, about 45-degree angle. And just check in with your alignment again on this side. So again, the headlights on the hips, feel that they're facing right in front of you. You can do that trick lifting the toes again so that you really get your feet into a steady place. And then just let your toes be there for support. The front knee is still over the front ankle. Tailbone is still tucking straight down. So it's just not going to fully look like it's pointing down, but just the sensation of the tailbone tucking down and the pelvic floor coming up gives you more length in your lower back and increases the stretch in your right hip flexor. You can imagine a string from your tailbone through the crown of the head. So you feel the tailbone being pulled straight down to the ground and the crown of the head being lifted up. Perfect. Staying with your breath. Making sure to relax any muscles that aren't necessary in this pose. Relaxing the face, the shoulders. Perfect. One more breath. And then on your next exhale, you can bring the hands down to frame your front foot. Step back to your plank position, move through your flow, and we'll meet in a down dog. Great. On your next inhale, bend the knees, look up and step up. Halfway lift as you inhale, reset the spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise yourself up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a moment here, checking back in. Making note of how all that felt. We'll move through another flow on either side. Just getting a little bit more into the hips this time around. On your next inhale, raise the arms up. And exhale, swan dive all the way down. Inhale, long spine, reset. Half lift. Exhale and fold. Let the hands step back. You can move through a vinyasa if you'd like, or we'll meet in a down dog. And as you arrive, you can inhale, reach your right leg back and up. And then exhale to point the toes, stack the hips, and bend the knee, opening up the hips. Feeling a super nice stretch down the inside of the left leg. Great. And then level out the hips as you inhale, reach the leg long. And then exhale, bend the knee in toward the chest and step it to the top of your mat. We'll rise right back up to our warrior ones as you inhale. And then as you exhale, open yourself up, warrior two. So inching your left foot back a touch, seeing that the back foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. And same trick with the feet here. If you want to encourage strong feet, you can lift the toes, feel yourself steady there, and then let the toes just be there for extra. Arms are proud, reaching from the heart center. Shoulders are relaxed. Tailbone is still reaching straight down. You can still pretend that that string is there. Tailbone pulling down, crown of the head reaching up. And see that your front knee is more reaching toward the pinky side of the foot, because it's going to want to buckle inwards. So having it reach there makes it be right over the ankle. And you might even feel like a tucking sensation of your right hip. Awesome. And then slowly as you inhale, you can start to straighten out your right leg. And then reach forward with your right hand as far as you can as your hips reach back. And then when you can't reach forward anymore, we'll come into our triangle pose. So your right fingertips reach toward the ground, left fingertips reach up. So I've always been taught to keep your hips really square to each other. But I was listening to this yoga podcast today that says that's not necessarily true for all bodies. So if you feel any sort of pain or pinching in your hips when you really try to keep your hips straight, see if you can just relax your left hip and let it come forward slightly. So they don't have to be in a perfect line, unless that feels really good. If it feels really good to have your hips in a line, like I think it does for me, but time will tell on that one. So you can experiment with any pose. Like if I offer some suggestion about the alignment and it immediately feels wrong in your body, just go to a place where it feels right. Everyone is so different. All right, and you can start to rebend your front leg, bring the arms back up to center in your warrior two. We'll reverse the warrior for a moment. So inhale, reach the right arm up. Give this nice stretch down the right side of the body. Beautiful. And then exhale, we'll cartwheel the hands all the way down, frame your front foot. Lift your back heel, step back to your plank, move through your vinyasa, and we'll meet in a down dog. Feel the difference in the body. And then when you're ready, you can inhale your left leg back and up. And exhale to point the toes, stack the hips, bend the knee, opening up those hips. And then you can level out the hips again, reach the leg long as you inhale. And then exhale, bend the knee in toward the chest and step the foot to the top of your mat. We'll come into your warrior one as you inhale, rise yourself up. Reach in here. And then exhale, open yourself up, warrior two. So back foot parallel to the back edge of the mat. And I don't know if I said this on the other side, but front heels either intersecting the back arch or in line with the back heel. And feel broadness and expansion across the collarbones and the chest. And feel as if your fingertips are reaching from your heart. And really feeling that straight line you're creating. Remembering your front knee, feeling like it's going to the pinky side of the foot, rolling your left hip under, opening that up even more. Maybe lifting the toes again, encouraging the muscles in your feet. Feeling how strong your feet are, holding you up like this. Tailbone reaching straight down, crown of the head straight up. Awesome. And then we'll slowly start to straighten out your front leg. And we'll come back into that triangle pose on this side. So you can shift the hips back, reach forward as far as you can. Maybe you'll get a pop. And then when you can't reach forward anymore, left fingertips reach down, right fingertips reach up. So you definitely want to keep your arms the same as in Warrior Two. And then if it feels like your top hip is kind of coming down, you can let it come down slightly. You don't have to be forcing it up like that if it feels really bad in your hips. So that looks great. And then if you are resting your left hand on your shin or on the ground or on a block, just make sure you're not resting your weight there. So you want to lift up out of those fingertips, out of that shoulder, still using your core, pulling your low belly in and up. Great. One more breath. And then slowly you can rebend your front leg, bring the arms back up, Warrior Two. And then we'll reverse the warrior as you inhale, reaching left fingertips back and up. Reverse the warrior. So left fingertips would be perfect. And then coming back down, cartwheeling the hands all the way down to frame your front foot. Step back to your plank. Move through one final vinyasa, and then we'll meet in our down dog. Take 2 really full deep breaths in your down dog. And then slowly bend the knees and allow them to find the mat. Untuck the toes, sit the hips down on the heels, and come into your child's pose. Allow yourself to be still when you arrive. Each exhale that you take, feel yourself settling a little bit more into this posture. And letting the breath catch back up with you. Letting the face be soft. There's always a nice option to stack the hands under the forehead. That can give you a nice little lift, and if it feels good, maybe shaking your head no side to side, massaging the head against the mat or the hands. About 5 more really full exhales here. And seeing what else you can let go of. Seeing how soft your muscles can become. Seeing how deeply you can surrender. And after your last exhale, you can really gently and slowly begin to bring yourself onto your hands and walk them back toward your seat. Shifting your weight to either side, bringing the legs out long in front of you. Okay, shake them out when you're ready, maybe tap them down. And we'll come into our butterfly pose. So you can bring the soles of the feet together. And it can be any distance really that feels comfortable from your sit bones. The closer you are, the more you get into the hip abductors, and the further away, the more you get into the hamstrings. So that's why I like to do the long-legged one, because it gets into both, but it's up to you. So whenever you arrive in the right position with your legs, you can just allow your torso to fold, allow your head to relax. Reminding yourself to relax your forehead, to relax the jaw. Noticing anything that's coming up for you physically here. Maybe you're feeling this mostly in the spine, maybe in the neck and shoulders. Or maybe you're feeling this mostly in the hips and the legs. Wherever you're feeling this the most, whatever's loudest, just bring all your attention to that area. And each time that you inhale, envision the air in your breath traveling to this area of the body. And then each time you exhale, envision that breath of air dispersing and spreading throughout that area of the body. Bringing peace and relaxation and surrender to this area. Notice what else you can let go of. Maybe the hands, maybe the shoulders and the arms. Let yourself be still in this space. And if there are any thoughts popping up, just make note of them. Notice when the mind wanders toward the past, thinking about anything at all that happened before this exact moment. And then notice if the mind wanders into the future, thinking about anything that might happen beyond this moment. And each time you notice that your mind does that, that automatically brings you into the present. This is where true healing can be done. And we're simply witnessing and observing the natural intelligence of our body and the world around us. Releasing the need to change or fix anything at all. Practicing allowance. Allowing everything to be exactly how it already is. And taking 5 more deep, full breaths. Very, very slowly, 1 inch at a time, you can start to walk your hands back toward the hips. And even when you come all the way up to your seat, you can slowly grab the knees and slowly bring them in together. Just being really gentle with ourselves. You can give yourself a hug when you arrive or a reset, however feels natural. And then You can start to separate or move your feet away from the sit bones slightly. Grab the backs of your thighs and slowly lower yourself down to lay on your back. You can hug the knees in toward the chest when you arrive. Maybe rock slightly side to side, massaging the lower back. And just to counter that long hip opener we did, we're just going to reach both the feet up toward the ceiling. And then cross your right thigh over your left. And maybe you stay here, or maybe you can wrap your foot around the left calf even. Now we're doing this reclined eagle pose. So really feel your inner thighs squeezing together. That's the most important. And then you can reach your arms up to the ceiling. And then we'll cross the left arm over the right. And you can thread it around completely so that the palms find each other, or the backs of the hands. Great. So really push your lower back against the mat. So there's no space in the spine. Really squeeze the inner thighs in toward each other and squeeze the inner arms in toward each other. This is a super active pose. If you want to kick this up even more, you can add crunches into this. So what you would do is bring your elbows up to about eye level, so fingertips might touch the floor. And then as you exhale, curl or crunch your knees and elbows so meet each other, or to come toward each other. Just an option. So squeezing as hard as you can for another 2 breaths. And then you can release the arms, release the legs, reach them both up and shake them both out. And then we'll do that on the other side. So you can cross your left thigh over right. And maybe staying here, just squeezing them together, or maybe you can wrap the lower legs around each other also. And then you reach the arms up toward the ceiling and cross your right arm over left. And then continue wrapping them so either the palms find each other or the backs of the hands. And you can adjust the spine here. Notice how this feels a bit different on this side. Really press your lower back into the mat. And with all of your energy focused on squeezing the inner thighs, squeezing the arms, squeezing the belly closer to the ground. Maybe doing that crunching motion if you did that on the other side. Doing just another 3 breaths here. Awesome. So you can release your reclined eagle, unwind the arms and legs, reach them up, shake them out. And then we'll come into our reclined twist when you're ready. So you can just scoot your hips off to the right side of your mat and let both knees fall to the left. And any variation you want to take with this, feel free. So you can just let the knees stack on top of each other. You can straighten out your bottom leg. You can have the same legs that we just did in eagle, have them crossed. Whatever feels right. You can let your gaze come over the right fingertips. And really just feeling the body surrender to this pose. Let your belly be soft. Let your face and shoulders relax. Each exhale, one more thing is letting go. Another 3 deep breaths here. And gently bringing your head back to center, the knees back to center, and the hips. Taking a moment to reset the spine, get yourself centered. And then we'll take that to the other side once you're ready. You can shift the hips to your left, and let the knees fall to your right. Same variation you did on the other side. Letting your gaze come over the left shoulder. Each exhale, feel your belly getting even softer. Let both shoulders relax. Let all the muscles in your face just fall off of the bones. And taking another 3 full exhales here. When you're ready, gently letting the head come back to center, followed by the knees, followed by the hips. You can do anything we need to do to reset. You can windshield wiper the knees back and forth. I can maybe end with the soles of the feet reaching up toward the ceiling. Just letting them rest in the hip sockets, letting the arms do the same. Just feeling the limbs become weightless as the 4 corners of the torso become pinned against the mat. When you're ready, you can reach into your happy baby, grabbing the toes, the feet, the ankles, the thighs, whatever's available. Finding movement if that feels natural, or just finding stillness. When you're ready, you can slowly lower the legs down to the ground. You can come into your reclined butterfly pose or right into your final shavasana. As you arrive, letting yourself fully arrive. Releasing the need to hold anything up. Feeling every cell of your body being supported by the earth beneath you. If you would like to stay here longer, please feel free to do so. And if you're ready to make your way out of this pose, you can just allow my cues to guide you. Noticing how slow your breath has become. And then consciously deepening the breath. Maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes. And slowly bringing movement back into the body. You can reach into a nice morning stretch. And then eventually finding your way into a fetal position on one side. I'm just taking a moment to pause here. And then when you're ready, leaving the eyes closed for now, you can push yourself up to your seat. Finishing this practice in the same position we started in, hopefully feeling a bit lighter and a bit more centered. We can meet with our hands at heart center. First, thank yourself for your practice today, for showing up on your mat. May this practice continue to heal you throughout the rest of your evening into a wonderful night's sleep. And may you bring some of this love and light to everything that you do and to everyone that you see. Namaste.